So I just wanted to start this video by mentioning why I ended up building this printer, and I said it in the first video of this series, but basically I had these parts laying around. The only thing I purchased was that extruder, and I really just wanted to build a printer with spare parts because I've built quite a few printers before, and yeah, I just wanted to use those spare parts and see what I could do. And also, I knew I'd be able to build something different, and I like building things that are different. Something that I haven't built before, and something that you don't really see other people build. Alrighty, so I just made the Z-axis end stop. So I only had a couple hours to work on this, so I just did a quick, easy kind of solution. And I didn't want to reprint this white plastic part here, so I actually just screwed a micro switch into it. It's good enough, it works. And then I designed this mount for the actual adjustment and just bolted it to that aluminium there. So yeah, I mean, it works. So that's good enough. And yeah, it should be fine. So, got my first successful print going at the moment. So the design I've chosen, this one here, is one that you won't really be able to see any artifacts. So, but I mean, it looks real clean. So I think it's a good start. I'm very happy with it so far. Only thing is, I've had to limit the speed to 40 millimeters per second. Even though I was jogging much faster than that, it just wasn't happy actually printing faster. So that's what I got my speed set to. But that's alright. It's only a small printer, so yeah, I think it'll be okay for small detailed things. That part cooling solution, not really sure if it's doing much. That fan doesn't really spin very fast, so yeah. So I don't know, that might become an issue on some really low layer times. Yeah. So here it is off the bed. The first layer wasn't perfect. The Z was a little bit too high. So that's easy to fix. On the top here, that doesn't look totally circle, and I think it might be because of the cooling. Because I don't think that really does anything. I mean, it does something. I think that fan needs to be bigger if this solution's going to work. But maybe I'll just put an actual part cooler on there. But yeah, that's the first print. Alright, so after the first successful print, I realised I think I need to upgrade this fan. I could just use a couple of blowers, one or two. I've got some laying around, but I like this concept. One fan for both cooling. So as a quick and easy first step, I'm just going to put this 40-20 fan and replace this little one here. So give me a little bit more cooling power, and we'll just see what happens. So for the second print on this printer, decided to go for a Benchy. First attempt, I got some drift on the Y-axis. I ended up just disabling stealth chop because initially I took the acceleration down. That didn't help, so I disabled stealth chop. And honestly, I don't mind the sound of these motors. I think it sounds better for somehow. I know you can hear the motors more, but it just sounds healthier. I don't know why, but yeah, I think that's fixed the skipping issue, and I've also upped the acceleration to 2000 millimeters per second. Now that stealth chop's been disabled, maybe I can even go higher. I'm not sure, but so far so good. It hasn't skipped yet, so we'll see how this one turns out. That part cooler seems to be doing really good with that bigger fan. There's, I would say, way too much cooling for the actual heat sink, and not probably we could probably go a bit more cooling for the actual part. Just the way it's divided in there, but yeah, no, I think it's alright. We'll see how the Benchy looks with the overhangs. And here we have the second print Benchy. So there's obviously a few problems. One of them is the pressure advance is way too high, and that is because I got the board and the Raspberry Pi from another printer which had a really long Bowden tube going to a remote extruder. So that is why that is happening. Then also the temperature, or the cooling rather. There's obviously not enough cooling for this part here. Now, really, I think the issue is in Prusa Slicer, when you disable auto cooling, it also disables the slowdown if layer is below minimum print time. So basically, I'm just going to have to tick this box, and even though there's no fan, and then it'll allow me to actually use that. So here you can see the pressure advance was 0.3, which is really high, because on my other printer with a very similar extruder, I mean it's the same extruder and a very similar filament path, we got 0.05. So yeah, I think I'll probably start with that value. I might do the actual test, but I'll probably just chuck that in and see what happens. So I remembered why I bought these MGN 7 rails. On my other lead screw printer, I was going to put them on there to... Basically, I was trying to get rid of this rippling artifact, which you can see in certain lights. It actually shows up better on this silk filament. So this is a good example. I mean, for the most part, you can't tell. So it's not so bad, but yeah, like I say, with this silk filament, it definitely shows up, this rippling effect. And basically, it seems to be because the lead screw is a little bit wobbly, probably because of that 3D coupler. So maybe if I get a actual coupler, like a metal coupler, that's been machined or whatever, that might fix it here. You can kind of see the lead screw wobbling there. So yeah. I don't think I can really rigid mount that lead screw without losing travel, because yeah, I want to get the whole 100mm of travel on that bed, so I don't know if I can really do much apart from change that coupler, but it's not too bad. I printed this piece out to see if the printer was square, and basically it wasn't quite square, just a little bit out. So I figured the easiest way to fix that is to loosen these and just knock that across a little bit. So yeah, I marked where it was, knocked it across 1mm, and now we seem to be really good. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll just talk about the effectiveness of that heat block stuck to the bottom of this 3mm aluminium plate as a heated bed. I have put some glue stick on the bed to help with adhesion, and that's done the trick, because this bed surface is actually really good anyway. But basically, as far as heat dissipation, it's... oh, can you even see? Hang on. So let's get a reading from the corner there. 44.9. So I've got this set to 55, so it's going to be 55 close to the middle, about there. What's that? Yeah, even a bit hotter. So it's not super even, but I think it's good enough, because yeah, with the assistance of that glue, like I mean, even when I was doing this, I had a bit of trouble with the leveling there. I just had to screw in, make the bed a little bit lower there, but basically it hasn't peeled, so I think we're good. Just because it's such a small bed, I think it's alright. So I got this problem when printing big parts like this. You couldn't tell, but when printing small parts like this, you can see that nut is not round. It's squashed. And I've worked out why. So I don't know if you better tell, but basically this can rotate a fair distance before the bed actually moves, and I don't know if you can see that compressing, that coupler there. So that coupler is compressing, and yeah, so that's the problem. Ideally, I want thrust washers on both ends, which I don't have, so I need to work out how to fix this on the cheap. Okay, I hate it, but it will probably work. I basically just loosened off those little grub screws and pulled this as hard as I could, to stretch that and then tighten those up, so now there's like constant tension. And I mean, it appears to have fixed the problem as far as I can see visually. That doesn't look good, but... and it's still not ideal because it's not a rigid mount, really. Anyway, we'll print it and test and see what happens. So, putting tension on that coupler has fixed my problem. So, I just printed out this M8 bolt and nut. So that's pretty cool. And it's round, so it works. These kind of projects are always a work in progress, always things you can upgrade and improve, but it's working, so I'm going to call that done for now. I found this on Thingiverse, printed out in vase mode, so yeah, I'm happy with the quality. It's good. So that's it for these videos. Thanks for watching.